As alien ships descended upon Earth, humans prepared for war, unaware of the true origins and intentions of their visitors. The sky, once a serene canvas of blue, was now filled with ominous, glowing vessels casting long shadows over the bustling cities below. Panic spread like wildfire, and governments worldwide scrambled to mount a defense against what they perceived as an imminent threat. In the heart of this chaos stood Dr. Laura Simmons, a renowned scientist known for her work in exobiology. Unlike the majority of the population, Dr. Simmons felt a strange sense of curiosity rather than fear. She had spent her life studying the possibilities of extraterrestrial life and believed that these visitors might hold the key to unlocking secrets of the universe. As military forces mobilized, Dr. Simmons worked tirelessly in her lab, decoding the signals emanating from the alien ships. Alongside her stood General Marcus Cole, the stern and battle-hardened leader of Earth's defense forces. General Cole was skeptical of the aliens' intentions and believed in preparing for the worst. "We have to assume they're hostile until proven otherwise," General Cole stated firmly, his gaze fixed on the holographic displays of the alien vessels. Dr. Simmons, however, was not convinced. "We can't let fear drive us to unnecessary conflict. There's a possibility they're here to communicate, maybe even to help us." Their differing viewpoints set the stage for the conflict to come, as humanity faced a choice between fear and understanding. With tensions rising and time running out, the fate of Earth hung in the balance, setting the stage for a conflict that could change the planet's destiny forever. The morning sky over New York City was a serene expanse of blue, slowly giving way to the vibrant hues of dawn. People were just beginning their day, unaware that their lives were about to change forever. It started as a rumor, a murmur among the crowds, and then, like a wave, the panic spread. High above, glistening in the early light, alien ships pierced the clouds. They moved with a grace and precision that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The vessels were unlike anything humanity had ever seen, sleek, metallic, and glowing with an otherworldly energy. Their presence cast long, ominous shadows over the city, sending a chill down the spines of those who dared to look up. In the heart of Manhattan, the United Nations building became a hub of frantic activity. Diplomats, scientists, and military leaders converged, seeking answers and forming plans. Dr. Laura Simmons was among them, her mind racing with questions and theories. She stood out amidst the chaos, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the panic around her. "Dr. Simmons, we need your analysis on these signals," a young aide called out, handing her a tablet filled with data streams and alien transmissions. Laura nodded, her fingers deftly navigating the information. "These patterns, they're not random. It looks like they're trying to communicate," she said, her voice filled with a mix of excitement and concern. Meanwhile, General Marcus Cole was coordinating with military leaders across the globe. The seasoned general had seen his fair share of conflicts, but nothing could have prepared him for this. His eyes were fixed on the live feeds from satellites, showing the alien ships descending over major cities worldwide. "All units, proceed to DEFCON 1. We must be ready for any scenario," General Cole commanded, his voice firm and resolute. As the day progressed, the alien ships continued their silent descent, hovering just above the major cities. The streets below were a chaotic mix of gridlocked traffic, people fleeing in panic, and emergency services struggling to maintain order. The media added to the frenzy, broadcasting live coverage of the alien invasion, speculating wildly about the visitors' intentions. Dr. Simmons worked tirelessly in her makeshift lab within the UN building, decoding the alien transmissions. Every passing hour brought her closer to understanding their message. She was convinced that these beings were not here for conquest, but for communication. "We have to find a way to respond," she muttered to herself, her eyes never leaving the screen. General Cole, however, remained skeptical. He had seen too many conflicts to trust easily. "We can't risk underestimating them, Laura. We need to be prepared for the worst," he said during one of their briefings. "But what if they're here to help? What if attacking them turns a potential ally into an enemy?" Laura countered, frustration evident in her voice. As night fell, the tension reached a boiling point. The alien ships emitted a low, resonant hum that seemed to vibrate through the very core of the cities below. Lights flickered, and the power grid wavered under the strain. It was clear that something monumental was about to happen. In a desperate attempt to understand and perhaps communicate with the visitors, Dr. Simmons proposed a bold plan. We need to send a message back. A signal, something to show them we're willing to talk. General Cole sighed, weighing his options. All right, Laura. But if this goes south, we're launching a full-scale defensive strike. With the approval reluctantly given, Laura and her team worked through the night, constructing a makeshift transmitter capable of sending a message back to the alien ships. As dawn broke, they were ready. The world held its breath as the signal was sent. A simple message, encoded in the universal language of mathematics and music, hoping to bridge the vast gap between species. Moments stretched into eternity as they waited for a response. Suddenly, the hum from the alien ships changed. It became more harmonious, almost musical. Lights danced across their surfaces, and then, as if in response, one of the ships lowered a platform to the ground, revealing a group of beings. They were tall, graceful, and undeniably alien, yet there was something familiar about them. The first contact had been made, but whether it would lead to peace or war remained uncertain. The morning after first contact, the world was abuzz with speculation and fear. News outlets broadcasted images of the alien beings and their ships, dissecting every detail and fueling the already rampant paranoia. Social media platforms were flooded with theories, ranging from the hopeful to the apocalyptic. In the heart of New York City, Dr. Laura Simmons and General Marcus Cole stood at the forefront of the unfolding events. The aliens had made their intentions clear through gestures and nonverbal communication. They sought peaceful dialogue. However, their unfamiliarity and the uncertainty surrounding their arrival sowed seeds of mistrust among the human population. In the United Nations building, tensions ran high. Leaders from around the globe convened to decide the next course of action. The room was filled with heated debates and conflicting opinions. We can't afford to trust them blindly, argued General Cole, his voice commanding and resolute. For all we know, this could be a prelude to invasion. We need to maintain our defenses. Dr. Simmons, standing at the other end of the room, countered passionately. We have no evidence to suggest they're hostile. Their technology is far beyond ours, yet they haven't attacked. We need to communicate to understand why they're here. Her plea was met with skepticism. Fear and suspicion clouded the judgment of many. The majority of the world's leaders sided with General Cole, advocating for a stance of cautious defense rather than open dialogue. Outside the walls of the UN, the situation was deteriorating. Misinformation and fear-mongering led to widespread panic. Civil unrest erupted in various parts of the world, and calls for military action grew louder. The sight of alien ships hovering over cities was too much for the average citizen to bear, and many demanded immediate action to remove the perceived threat. Amidst this turmoil, a small group of scientists and diplomats, led by Dr. Simmons, continued to push for peaceful negotiations. They managed to arrange a meeting with the alien representatives, hoping to bridge the gap and find common ground. The meeting took place in a neutral zone, away from the bustling cities and prying eyes of the media. Dr. Simmons and her team approached with a mix of hope and trepidation. The aliens, tall and ethereal, stood in stark contrast to their human counterparts. Their eyes, large and expressive, conveyed a depth of wisdom and understanding. Using a combination of visual symbols and mathematical equations, the aliens communicated their message. They revealed that they had once lived on Earth, eons ago, and had evolved and left the planet to explore the cosmos. Now, they had returned, sensing a great danger approaching Earth, an impending threat from a deadly alien race that would soon descend upon the planet. Dr. Simmons was stunned by the revelation. The aliens' intentions were indeed noble. They had come to help humanity prepare for the looming danger. She knew this information could change everything, but convincing the rest of the world would be a monumental task. Back in the UN building, Dr. Simmons presented her findings to the world's leaders. She spoke with conviction, detailing the aliens' ancient connection to Earth and their warning of the impending threat. However, the response was not as she had hoped. "We have no way to verify their claims," General Cole retorted. "For all we know, this could be a tactic to lower our defenses." The room erupted in debate once again. Trusting the aliens meant putting humanity's fate in the hands of beings they barely understood. The fear of the unknown was too great for many to overcome. Outside, the situation escalated. Incidents of violence against perceived alien collaborators surged, and militant groups took matters into their own hands, launching attacks against the alien ships. The aliens, adhering to their peaceful principles, refrained from retaliating with lethal force, but their patience was wearing thin. As night fell, Dr. Simmons felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. She knew that time was running out. The aliens had shown remarkable restraint, but continued hostilities could force their hand. She needed to find a way to convince humanity of the truth before it was too late. The following morning, the world awoke to news of increasing violence and unrest. The mistrust between humans and the alien visitors had reached a boiling point, with skirmishes breaking out in major cities around the globe. Despite the aliens' continued efforts to communicate their peaceful intentions, humanity's fear and suspicion grew stronger by the day. Dr. Laura Simmons, exhausted but undeterred, continued her quest to uncover the truth about the aliens. She spent countless hours analyzing the data collected from their transmissions and the symbols they had used to communicate. Her lab was a whirlwind of activity, with holographic displays flickering with complex patterns and mathematical equations. In a breakthrough moment, Dr. Simmons and her team decoded a critical piece of the alien message. The symbols they had initially thought were random were, in fact, a sophisticated form of a star map. The map detailed a journey from a distant star system to Earth, indicating that the aliens had once called this planet home. "These symbols, they represent a timeline," Dr. Simmons explained to her team, her voice filled with awe. "They left Earth millions of years ago, long before humanity existed. They've evolved and now they've come back to warn us." The revelation was profound. The aliens were not invaders, but descendants of an ancient species that had originated on Earth. They had evolved and traveled the cosmos, gaining knowledge and experience far beyond human understanding. Now, sensing a great danger approaching, they had returned to help their ancestral home. Armed with this new information, Dr. Simmons sought an urgent audience with General Marcus Cole and the world's leaders. She knew that time was running out and that this revelation could change the course of history. The meeting was tense, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. "General Cole, ladies and gentlemen," Dr. Simmons began, addressing the assembly. "We have decoded the alien message. They are not our enemies. They are our ancient ancestors, returning to help us in our hour of need." The room fell silent as Dr. Simmons detailed the findings. She explained the star map, the timeline, and the imminent threat of a deadly alien race that was on its way to Earth. The aliens had come to prepare humanity, to share their knowledge and technology to ensure the survival of their ancestral planet. General Cole listened intently, his expression unreadable. When Dr. Simmons finished, he stood and addressed the room. "If what Dr. Simmons says is true, then we have grossly misjudged our visitors. However, we must verify this information before making any decisions." Despite the compelling evidence, skepticism remained. The military leaders, wary of being deceived, demanded further proof. Dr. Simmons proposed a bold plan, a joint mission between humans and the alien visitors to retrieve an artifact from an ancient site on Earth that would corroborate their story. Reluctantly, the leaders agreed. A small team, including Dr. Simmons, General Cole, and a few trusted scientists, along with alien representatives, set out on the mission. They traveled to a remote desert, to a site that had been identified in the star map as a place of significance. The site was an ancient ruin, buried beneath the sands for millennia. As they excavated, they uncovered artifacts and inscriptions that matched the symbols used by the aliens. Among the findings was a device, dormant for millions of years, that activated when the aliens approached. The device projected a holographic message, a recording from their ancient ancestors. It detailed the history of their departure, their journey through the stars, and their eventual return to Earth to help their descendants face a great danger. The message was clear and undeniable. The aliens were here to help. The discovery was groundbreaking. General Cole, witnessing the evidence firsthand, could no longer deny the truth. "We owe these beings an apology," he said, his voice heavy with regret. "We must prepare for the threat they have warned us about." Back in the cities, news of the discovery began to spread. Dr. Simmons and General Cole worked together to disseminate the information, hoping to quell the fear and hostility. Slowly, perceptions began to change. The aliens, once seen as invaders, were now viewed as potential allies in a looming interstellar conflict. However, the path to reconciliation was fraught with challenges. The aliens' patience was wearing thin, and their willingness to help depended on humanity's acceptance and cooperation. Dr. Simmons knew that they had to act quickly to build trust and prepare for the impending threat. As the days passed, efforts to strengthen the alliance intensified. Joint training exercises, technological exchanges, and diplomatic talks were initiated. The humans and their ancient allies worked side by side, each learning from the other. But time was running out. The warning of the deadly alien race loomed large, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Dr. Simmons, driven by a newfound sense of purpose, vowed to do everything in her power to unite humanity and their ancient allies against the common threat. As the newfound evidence of the aliens' origins and intentions began to circulate, a tentative hope started to replace the widespread fear. However, the scars of mistrust were deep, and not everyone was convinced. Violent protests and resistance continued in some regions, fueled by those who still saw the aliens as a threat. In a secluded meeting room within the United Nations building, Dr. Laura Simmons, General Marcus Cole, and several world leaders gathered for a critical discussion. The atmosphere was tense, but there was a shared determination to find a way forward. "These artifacts and the holographic message are undeniable proof," Dr. Simmons argued passionately. "We must act quickly to solidify our alliance with the aliens and prepare for the impending threat." General Cole, now a staunch advocate for cooperation, nodded in agreement. "We need to set aside our differences and focus on the real enemy. The aliens have offered us advanced technology and strategic insights. It's time we accept their help." Despite the compelling arguments, some leaders remained skeptical. "How can we be sure this isn't part of a larger deception?" one of them questioned. "We've been burned before by trusting too easily." Dr. Simmons took a deep breath, her eyes filled with conviction. "We have no choice but to trust them. The danger they've warned us about is real, and we won't stand a chance on our own." After hours of debate, a decision was reached. A formal alliance would be established with the aliens, focusing on mutual defense and technological exchange. Dr. Simmons and General Cole were appointed as the primary liaisons to facilitate this cooperation. News of the alliance was met with mixed reactions. While many celebrated the possibility of newfound strength against the looming threat, others remained wary, their distrust simmering just below the surface. In the days that followed, joint operations and training exercises were initiated. Human soldiers and alien warriors worked side by side, sharing tactics and learning from each other. The alien technology, far more advanced than anything humanity had ever seen, was gradually integrated into Earth's defense systems. Dr. Simmons found herself spending more time with the alien leaders, learning their history, culture, and the full extent of their knowledge. She was particularly fascinated by their strategic insights and their ability to predict enemy movements with uncanny accuracy. During one such meeting, an alien leader named Zorith shared vital information about the impending threat. "The invaders are relentless and highly adaptable," Zorith explained, his voice resonating with a sense of urgency. "They have decimated countless civilizations across the galaxy. Your survival depends on our combined efforts." General Cole, listening intently, asked, "What can we expect in terms of their tactics and capabilities?" Zorith's eyes darkened. "They employ a variety of strategies, often using biological warfare and psychological manipulation to weaken their enemies. Their technology is on par with ours, but their ruthlessness is unmatched. Armed with this knowledge, General Cole and his team began to devise a comprehensive defense strategy. They focused on fortifying key locations, establishing communication networks that could withstand enemy jamming, and developing countermeasures for the anticipated biological threats. Meanwhile, Dr. Simmons worked on bridging the cultural gap between humans and aliens. She organized joint cultural exchanges, hoping to foster understanding and camaraderie. These efforts were met with varying degrees of success, but they were crucial in building trust. Despite the progress, the sense of impending doom lingered. Satellite scans and deep space probes confirmed the approach of the deadly alien fleet. The countdown to their arrival had begun, and humanity braced itself for the battle to come. In a final push to prepare, a global broadcast was arranged. Dr. Simmons and General Cole addressed the world, urging unity and resilience. "We stand on the brink of an unprecedented challenge," Dr. Simmons said, her voice steady and resolute. "But we are not alone. Our ancestors have returned to help us. Together, we will face this threat and prevail." General Cole added, "Now is the time to set aside our fears and differences. We must stand united, as one planet, one people. The survival of Earth depends on our ability to work together." As the broadcast ended, a wave of determination swept across the globe. People from all walks of life began to contribute to the war effort, volunteering their skills and resources. The alliance between humans and aliens grew stronger, their combined forces readying themselves for the imminent battle. The stage was set. The turning point had been reached, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Dr. Simmons and General Cole knew that the days ahead would be fraught with peril, but they were determined to lead humanity to victory, no matter the cost. The day had arrived. The deadly alien fleet loomed on the horizon, their ships blocking out the sun and casting long, ominous shadows over the Earth. Panic and fear gripped the population, but there was also a resolve to stand and fight, bolstered by the newfound alliance with their ancient allies. Dr. Laura Simmons, now a symbol of hope and resilience, stood in the Central Command Center, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching enemy. Beside her, General Marcus Cole coordinated the final preparations with military leaders from around the world. "All units, this is it. Stand ready and follow the battle plans. Remember, we are not alone in this fight." General Cole's voice echoed through the communication channels, reaching every soldier and pilot ready to defend their home. The alien ships, sleek and menacing, began their descent into the atmosphere. The sky filled with the deafening roar of engines and the crackling of energy weapons being primed for battle. Earth's defenses, now integrated with alien technology, sprang to life. Anti-aircraft batteries, missile silos, and energy shields powered up, ready to meet the invaders head-on. Dr. Simmons activated a secure channel to communicate with the alien leaders. "Zorith, we're in position. We need your forces to focus on their flanks and disrupt their formation." "Understood, Dr. Simmons. Our warriors are ready," Zorith replied, his voice calm and resolute. The first wave of enemy ships unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, striking at key military installations. The ground shook with the impact, and fires erupted across the landscape. But Earth's defenses held firm, returning fire with a ferocity born from desperation. In the skies above, human and alien pilots engaged in a deadly dance of dogfights. The agility and coordination of the Allied forces took the invaders by surprise, disrupting their initial assault. Yet, the enemy adapted quickly, revealing their ruthless and relentless nature. On the ground, Dr. Simmons monitored the battlefield, her heart pounding with each new development. She knew that the battle would be won or lost based on their ability to outmaneuver and outthink the enemy. "General Cole, we need to deploy the EMP devices. If we can disable their primary weapons, we might gain the upper hand." General Cole nodded, issuing the command. Specialized units moved into position, their vehicles carrying powerful electromagnetic pulse devices designed to disrupt the enemy's technology. As they activated the devices, a ripple of energy surged through the battlefield, causing several enemy ships to falter and crash. Cheers erupted from the human and alien forces, But the victory was short-lived. The enemy's ground troops, massive and heavily armored, began their advance. These soldiers were unlike anything humanity had ever faced, their weapons capable of devastating destruction. All ground units, hold your positions. Do not let them breach our lines, General Cole commanded, his voice unwavering. The ground battle was fierce and brutal. Soldiers fought with every ounce of strength they had, utilizing both human ingenuity and alien technology. The combined efforts of the Allied forces created a formidable defense, but the enemy's relentless assault pushed them to their limits. Amidst the chaos, Dr. Simmons received a message from Zorth. Dr. Simmons, we have identified a command ship that appears to be coordinating the enemy's movements. If we can disable it, we may disrupt their entire operation. Send me the coordinates. We'll handle it, Dr. Simmons replied, determination burning in her eyes. A team of elite soldiers, led by General Cole, embarked on a daring mission to infiltrate and destroy the command ship. They moved through the war-torn landscape, evading enemy patrols and facing countless dangers. Each step brought them closer to their target, the fate of the battle resting on their shoulders. Inside the command ship, the enemy's leader, a cold and calculating figure, watched the battle unfold. They had underestimated the resolve and ingenuity of humanity and their ancient allies. As General Cole's team breached the ship's defenses, a fierce firefight ensued. General Cole, fighting with unmatched bravery, reached the ship's control center. With a final, desperate effort, he planted explosives on the ship's core. Mission accomplished. Get out of here, he shouted to his team as they made their escape. The command ship exploded in a brilliant flash of light, and a shockwave rippled through the battlefield. The enemy forces, now leaderless and disoriented, began to falter. The Allied forces seized the opportunity, launching a coordinated counterattack that pushed the invaders back. As the smoke cleared and the sounds of battle faded, a tentative silence fell over the battlefield. The deadly alien fleet, now in disarray, retreated, their ships vanishing into the void from whence they came. Earth had triumphed, but the cost had been high. Dr. Simmons and General Cole, both exhausted and battered, stood amidst the wreckage. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious, thanks to the unity and courage of humanity and their ancient allies. The battlefield lay silent in the aftermath of the battle, the acrid smell of smoke and charred earth filling the air. The once bustling cities now bore the scars of the conflict, their streets littered with debris and the remains of alien and human technology. Despite the victory, a somber mood hung over the survivors, a stark reminder of the high cost of war. Dr. Laura Simmons and General Marcus Cole stood amidst the ruins, surveying the devastation. The sense of relief was palpable, but it was overshadowed by the realization of what they had lost and the ominous warning left by their ancient allies. Their leader was right, Laura, General Cole said, his voice heavy with fatigue. We underestimated the threat, and we paid the price. But thanks to you and our allies, we have another chance. Dr. Simmons nodded, her eyes scanning the horizon where the last of the alien ships had vanished. We need to make sure that we are better prepared next time. The danger isn't over. The warning they left behind, we have to heed it. The victory celebration was muted as the world collectively mourned the loss of countless lives. Efforts to rebuild began immediately, with people from all walks of life coming together to restore what had been destroyed. The unity forged in the heat of battle extended into the recovery efforts, providing a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. In the following days, Dr. Simmons and her team worked tirelessly to decode the final messages left by the ancients. The information they uncovered painted a grim picture of the galaxy's threats, a sobering reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. We have to share this knowledge with the world, Dr. Simmons declared during a global broadcast. The ancients have given us the tools and the information we need to protect ourselves. We must honor their sacrifice by ensuring we are never caught unprepared again. General Cole, standing beside her, added, "This victory is just the beginning. We have proven that we can stand united against a common enemy. Now, we must remain vigilant and continue to build on the alliance we've forged." As the broadcast ended, the global community responded with renewed determination. Research into advanced alien technology accelerated, and collaborative efforts to strengthen Earth's defenses intensified. The lessons learned from the battle were etched into the collective consciousness, a constant reminder of the stakes involved. In a quiet moment of reflection, Dr. Simmons visited the ancient site where the artifacts had been found. She stood before the now silent device that had once projected the holographic message of their ancestors. The weight of their legacy felt almost overwhelming. "We owe them everything," she whispered to herself. "Their knowledge, their sacrifice, it's all for us to carry forward." As she turned to leave, a flicker of light caught her eye. The device activated once more, projecting a new message. The holographic figure of an ancient leader appeared, their eyes filled with a profound mix of sorrow and hope. "To the people of Earth," the figure began, "we leave you with one final gift, our knowledge and our guidance. Use it wisely, for the challenges you face are formidable. But know this, your spirit, your resilience, and your unity will see you through. We believe in you." Dr. Simmons watched as the message faded, her resolve solidifying. She knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but with the legacy of the ancients and the strength of humanity, they would face whatever came their way. As the world continued to rebuild and prepare for future threats, a sense of cautious optimism emerged. The alliance with the ancient aliens had changed everything, providing not only the tools for survival, but also a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life in the universe. The battle for Earth had ended, but the journey was far from over. United and determined, humanity stood ready to face whatever challenges the future held, carrying forward the legacy of the ancients and the hope of a brighter tomorrow. The battle for Earth had ended, but the journey was far from over. United and determined, humanity stood ready to face whatever challenges the future held, carrying forward the legacy of the ancients and the hope of a brighter tomorrow. The scars of war would heal, but the lessons learned would remain, guiding the people of Earth as they navigated an uncertain future. With the knowledge and technology left behind by their ancient allies, humanity was stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. The message from the ancients echoed in their hearts, "We believe in you." It was a reminder that no matter the adversity, humanity had the spirit and unity to overcome it. As they rebuilt their world, they did so with the determination to honor the sacrifices made and to ensure that the light of hope would never be extinguished. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey through Echoes of the Past, the Battle for Earth. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure from the Sci-Fi Story Vault. Dive deeper into the universe of our stories and explore the resilience, ingenuity, and courage of humanity against all odds. For more epic sci-fi tales, click on the suggested video on your screen and continue the adventure with another gripping story from our channel. Your next thrilling journey awaits.